All right, everyone, we're going to talk about everyone's favorite thing, taxes and accounting in a small business. Specifically for us, it is trading cards, but this advice can be for any business. We have our taco hat as a little, you know, light-hearted thing of a annoying and boring topic. So, making sure that you are staying on top of your accounting and your finances is very important. It doesn't matter how big or small your business is, you need to make sure that you are tracking every little thing as much as possible, because if you don't, you are going to get creamed. 100% tax time comes, you're going to be fighting for tooth and nail to try and work out what's going on, what transactions you did. If there's any discrepancies, you're going to be like, shit, like what was this? What was this? When did I buy this? When did I, go date these, when did I see these ladies of the night? When did I book this hotel room? Whatever else. It doesn't matter what it is. You need to make sure that you are tracking it. When you open stock, right? For example, when you open stock, put it on a video, you, depending on where you are, you can be like, oh, this is marketing content or whatever else, or maybe it's depreciated stock, or just absolute. There's so many little different things that you need to be able to remember, and the only way to remember is by writing it down in some form, right? And that's why for us, we use Xero. You can use GNU Cash, it's a free accounting software. You can use spreadsheets, you can use whatever you want, but being able to make sure that you can recall this stuff at a moment's notice if you are ever queried, or when it comes to tax time. Like when your accountant asks, hey, how did you do this year? And you'll be like, yeah, we did pretty good. And they'll be like, okay, what are the numbers? And you'll be like, ah, um, yeah, let me sort that out. And it's just going to be this long time. And then the biggest thing is around tax time is when everyone is the most busiest, because so many people have extra money, especially post tax time when everyone gets their tax returns and everything else. Everyone wants to spend money, right? And you need to make sure that you are ready. And if you're doing 1,000 orders at that time, right, you're going to struggle to maintain and get the stuff that you actually need to keep your business running. So for us, as I said, we use Xero. The reason we use Xero is because it is really easy to manage. Yes, the platform kind of sucks, but every accounting platform actually sucks. Doesn't matter what you use, whether it be QuickBooks, whether it be whatever, GNU, spreadsheets, every little thing about them sucks. Unless you are absolutely in love with this stuff, it is boring, it sucks, and you got to do it. That's the unfortunate things of a business, especially as a small business, when you don't have all the extra money in the world to, hire someone to do it. And yeah, you've just got to suck it up and do it. So past week, I was very lazy with this business. At my last business, I was no issue. I on top of everything, making sure everything was to the eye. I had every little detail, any purchase that I made, didn't matter what it was all tracked properly. This business, I was very lazy. It was lazy. Pretty much all it was it was lazy. I didn't want to do it, and it bit me in the ass because last week I was like, okay, how are we actually doing? Are we close to GST? What's going on? And for me to know that, I needed to grab everything properly. And so on also like how much are we actually profiting as much as we want, right? And so for that was when I was like, crap, I need to spend some time and actually make sure everything is accounted for. I had spreadsheets that I was tracking as much as I could, but obviously as you go on, these get lazy, and that's why Xero for me was honestly a lot better. And like a smarter purchase, just because of how much easier it will be going forwards to maintain, that constant record keeping, especially when it comes to like new receipts or whatever else. Whenever you go, you can use the mobile app. Whenever you go to a store or like make a purchase of any kind, take a photo of the receipt, upload it, you're done, right? Maybe you got to edit a couple of lines, whatever else. It doesn't really matter. That's not hard. You can do that later, and like when you get home or whatever else, but you at least have a physical copy. Losing receipts is so common. I don't know how many receipts I've lost over the years. It doesn't matter what happens. But when you have a digital copy that is in Australia, enough, right? You don't need a physical copy if you do have like physical proof that, hey, look, I took this on this date and here was the upload. You can see that the purchase was made, and it's pretty easy to go from there. Digital records are just as good as physical, and it's something you don't really have to maintain as much, right? So this also comes back to knowing how to actually track how much you are making in a business, right? If you, for this business, it is typical in high markets to be 20 to 30% margins. In low markets, you are absolutely, it's going to be between 5 and 12%, right? On average, the industry over a 10-year period, you will make 11% a year, right? 11% margins. So if you are doing $1 million in revenue, congratulations, you're not taking home $1 million. It's that simple. Um, so whenever you see a business, it's one of those things where it seems really cool and it feels really good, right? When you make a purchase, like when you make a sale, you're like, oh crap, look, I made. Say if you buy something for $5, right? Not $5. If you do $100 ETB, right? You make it, you sell it straight away, you get $50. Cool, you made $50. That's amazing. Okay, but what about all the other costs that you have, right? So you automatically are minus 100 because it was the cost of goods. If you are selling it on Shopify or whatever platform that you're selling on, cool, you got a minus fees, right? So if you sell on eBay, that's minus like 13.7% fees, I think is what it's meant to be. Some people get lower, some people get higher. It doesn't really matter. If you're a new store, you're probably going to be around 14%. Just rough estimates because they take, all of their fees. Sometimes credit card fees can go wrong. Something can always go wrong. So always overestimate a fee. Always. It's better to overestimate than underestimate and then owe money. So you've got that. Then you've got, okay, how much was shipping and handling, right? So yes, the customer pays a certain percentage, right? Say the customer pays $15 and the package to ship through like Ozpost, maybe that order was $15. But what about the tape? What about the box? What about anything else related to that, right? The label it costs, like the printing on the label. This is all stuff that starts to matter the more you do it. Sure, if you do it once every now and then, it's not a big deal. Who cares? You lost 10 cents, comes out of your profit, whatever else, right? But if you don't track that and keep on top of it, you don't know how much you're losing to different things where you could think like one thing I see a lot of people do is, especially streamers, is buy sleeves and top loaders for insane prices, right? So they'll buy a pack of 50 or like 25 top loaders and they'll pay $8, $9, right? And I'm like, holy, that is expensive. You can buy bulk for $5, $6 for 25, right? You can get lower 100%. But like even just getting like $5 or $6 is a lot better than $8 or $9, right? And you don't realize how much you're losing over time when you're consistently doing this if you're not tracking it. And that's where the tracking comes in. You need to be able to see what are your expenses and how much does it matter, right? So what about Shopify, right? If you get Shopify, you've got your monthly expenses. How much does that cost you a year, right? And then in literally any little expense, you need to make sure that you are able to track. When you go to a show, if you are giving out things, right? If you want to be that great, sick vendor that you see on, YouTube, like Coop or Bearded Dad or whatever else, you want to give a pack or like some item to a kid, right? Nothing wrong with that. It's great, get new people in the hobby or whatever else. One or two every show, whatever, right? It's a small little bit, you can write it off. But, or maybe you can write it off. I actually don't know. Don't quote me on that one. But what if you're doing that every show, but you're giving multiple things a show, right? This is where the problem lies very quickly. People start to give out way too much. And then at the end of the day, they think they did better than they really did, right? If you give 7 packs out in a day, right? And you were there for 4 or 5 hours, cool. $70, right? We're just saying $70, each pack is $10, right? And you made $150 on that day. You forget that you gave out packs. So you automatically are like, oh, I made $150. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty great. But now you got to factor in the table, right? How much did your table cost? $50, $100, whatever else. Okay, cool. Minus that. Now, what else? What about those packs that we forgot about? Remember? Hey, look, now we're in the negative again. We didn't make money. We lost money. And you do that every single event. It's small amounts, but every single event that scales. And then by the end of it, you are no longer a business that can survive. because you have given out all your money and you are spending more than you actually are making. That is so common. I see it every single time where someone will, like, there's nothing wrong with giving out, free stuff. Like, we give out OP14 bulk, we give out Pokemon bulk, whatever else. No, we're not giving out like crazy expensive cards or whatever else, because at the end of the day, we are a business. Like, if I can, I'll give like an EX or whatever else every now and then, but it's not going to be consistent, right? I'm not giving out hundreds a day like what you might see like Coop or Bearded Dad do, because realistically, that's not everyone. And that's not how the industry actually works. These are people that get paid to be at events. They are already covered. They are not paying to be there. They are getting paid for, one, their table, two, to make an appearance. Like, they are getting appearance fees. So at the start, they are already in profit. If they sell $30 in cards, right? They are starting already in profit. Whatever their cost of goods are, and then everything after that is just profit. So you can't compare to them. Pretending like, oh, that's how the industry works is not a thing, and you should really be careful when it comes to this stuff, because there are a lot of people that are also going to try and take advantage of you, whether it be vendors, whether it be other, just new people in, because everyone wants something free, but the second that you're not giving something free, hey, where'd they go? Like, one of the biggest things that I always see over the years, I've seen it, when I used to do Twitch, when I used to stream and do all that, stuff, people would do giveaways. You've seen it, YouTube's, whatever else. People always give a giveaway, especially when they're small, to try and get followers. And you see them do one or two giveaways. That's cool. They get 500, 1,000 subscribers or whatever else. But then you look 6 months later and they still are at that point, right? They haven't increased. And it's because none of those people that were there are there for you. They are there because you were giving something that they could win. And as soon as that giveaway stops being a thing, they are gone. They don't care. They didn't buy into you. There's nothing wrong when you are bigger to give back to your community. 100%. Like, look at, all of the big people that give back. They already made it, right? They don't need any more new people to come in for them to continue doing business. It helps, but it's not a necessity, because they already have that guaranteed crowd that are watching them, and everyone else new is just supplementary. It's great. But for like someone like me, right, if I was giving a giveaway right now, this video might get, normally probably going to hit like 50 views on this video, and that's fine. I don't care. That's 50 people that wanted to watch it, right? Versus maybe I do a giveaway, it gets, I don't know, 5,000 views. Great, cool. But how many people of that were actually watching it, right? How many people are there for the giveaway? And then what if I post another video, which, I post the next video, it gets 50 views because I don't have a giveaway. Okay, cool. I didn't gain anything, right? I just lost money doing what felt like a nice thing for people that don't care about you, right? So make sure whenever you are giving away stuff to be careful of how you're doing it, because people are going to abuse you, and people only want free shit. At the end of the day, everyone wants free stuff. I want free stuff. Everyone wants free stuff. But when the free stuff stops, suddenly you find out who the true people are. And it's common in anything. It's like someone that wins the lottery will typically have all of their friends come out of the woodwork being like, oh, hey, remember me? Like, oh, we went way back and everything else, and they're going to ask for money, and then you're going to give them money because you're like, oh, yeah, whatever, I remember that. And then as soon as you don't have money anymore, they suddenly don't care about you. And you're like, oh, cool, but what about me? I need something now. And they'll be like, what doesn't matter. Like, these kind of things happen all the time. It is reality. Just make sure that you're preparing for it, because not everyone's going to care about you. The only person that's going to care about your business is you. And the only one that wants to see you going to the next event is you. And also me, because I would love to see more people do this. It's, a lot of fun. And the more people that are doing it, the better, the industry grows. Like, we all benefit from people being in this industry. If you're a shit person, whatever else, doesn't matter. They are going to get rimmed out no matter what. But the good people that are going to be in the industry long term, it's great to have more people. Like, there's so much pie for everyone to have. Like, it's not like this industry is limited where oh my god, I can't get an allocation now, so because you're in the industry, I'm not getting Pokemon. No, that's just not what happens. Like everyone gets their slice of the pie. Like there's so much to go around, and trying to stop people from coming in because you're just afraid your sudden business is going to die or whatever else, it's ridiculous. Everyone, make sure that whoever you're around or whatever else, the only person that's really going to care is about you is you. So be careful with giveaways and everything else. But ultimately, I guess this comes back to the main point of this video, which was accounting. I don't know how I got sidetracked, but hey, it's all related. Be careful. Don't overspend. Make sure that you know your numbers. Margins get very iffy very quickly if you don't keep on top of them and tracking them. What might seem like a profitable week might actually be a very expensive week. And maybe you didn't make as much profit as you think, right? It's normal for you to over assume how much you think you actually did versus the numbers. I've done it so many times. It's pretty normal to have this where you might like it's pretty normal to go either way, right? So one way you think you did really, really well, and then you look at your numbers and you're like, oh, I didn't actually do as well as I thought. Or you might think you've done really badly, but then you look at your numbers and you're like, oh, I didn't do as badly as I thought. It's always the extreme, right? You're always on one end or the other of the spectrum, and you need to make sure you have the numbers to really ground you and work out where you actually are. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. If you liked it, I don't know, like, subscribe, talk badly, I don't care. Post on Reddit, tell me I'm an idiot. Post in the comments, tell me I'm dumb. Tell me my hat looks stupid. Tell me I don't know what I'm on about. I don't know. Whatever else. It doesn't matter. But all that matters is your business survives. And yeah, good luck. Peace.